Greetings and salutations, and welcome back to 1 Less Than 3 Math. This is the first video in the Exam Prep in Full Effect playlist, and this video focuses on IGCSE Mathematics Extended Paper 2 revision questions. So we've got 4 questions that you can have a go at. If you'd like to have a go at them now, please pause the video before I proceed with the explanations and the solutions. So question 1 asks us to find the perpendicular bisector to the line AB that goes from 3 and 9 to 7 and minus 3. So what we need to do is we need to look at the gradient of the line AB first of all. Now all linear graphs are written in the form y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient, that's how steep the line is, and c is the intercept where it cuts the y-axis. So we only need to find the gradient of the line A and B. In this case, the gradient is the change in y divided by the change in x. So we're going to pick a pair of coordinates. X is 3, y is 9. We're going to find the change in y divided by the change in x. So the y value goes from 9 to minus 3, so that's minus 12. The x value goes from 3 to 7, so that's 4. So consequently, our gradient is minus 12 divided by 4, which is minus 3. So now we can find the perpendicular gradient. The perpendicular gradient to the graph y equals minus 3x plus c. Okay, we don't know the intercept. We could work that out by substituting in a pair of values, but we only need the perpendicular gradient here. And the perpendicular gradient is always minus 1 over m. So therefore we take the gradient of the line AB, and our perpendicular gradient is going to be minus 1 over minus 3. That simplifies to 1/3. So now we've got the perpendicular gradient, we can start to write the equation of the perpendicular bisector as y equals 1/3 x plus c. Now we need to calculate the c, and at the moment we don't have any points on the perpendicular bisector. However, a perpendicular bisector would bisect a line at the midpoint, so we need to find the midpoint of the line AB. So the midpoint of the line AB, we add the x coordinates together, 3 add 7 divided by 2, and we add the y coordinates together, 9 add minus 3 divided by 2, and that gives us a midpoint of 5 and 3. We can then substitute that in. The x value is 5, the y value is 3, so we can substitute that in our equation to find the value of c. So I'll just move things up so we've got a bit of space to do this. So we've got 3 equals 1/3 times by 5, that would be 5/3 plus c. Now, what I've done on the second line of working out there is I've said 3 equals 9 over 3. 3 wholes is 9/3, and that makes it easier to subtract 5/3 so that we can work out the value of c. c is 4 over 3, and 4 over 3 is 1 and 1/3. So just to recap what I've done there, I've changed 3 wholes to 9 over 3 so that I can subtract 5/3 from both sides to work out the value of c. c equals 4/3, and 4/3 is 1 whole and 1/3. So now the equation of my perpendicular bisector is y equals 1/3 x plus 1 and 1/3, and that would get you the 4 marks there. So question 2a, we have both shapes are regular and we need to find the value of angle x. So we look at these shapes, we've got a hexagon and we've got an octagon. Now we're going to look at the interior angles. Interior angles of polygons can be calculated by using the formula number of sides take away 2, n minus 2, times by 180 degrees. So the angles in a hexagon always add up to 720 degrees. The angles in an octagon always add up to 1080 degrees. Now we need to find the two angles at the point with x. This angle, because the shape is regular, all of the angles in the hexagon are going to be the same, so we can do 720 divided by 6, and that gives us 120 degrees. You can use bus stop division to do that. That's probably the best method, but if you have another method that you like to divide by, go ahead and use that. Now to find the angle in the octagon, because there's 8 angles, we're going to do 1080 divided by 8, and that gives us 135 degrees. So therefore, we know that those two angles added together add up to 255 degrees. They are angles at a point, so we can take them away from 360, and we get x equals 105 degrees. Part B says that an exterior angle of a regular polygon is 6 degrees. How many sides does the regular polygon have? Now, if it's regular, all exterior angles are going to be the same, and the thing to remember about exterior angles is that they add up to 360 degrees. So because it's regular, we can just do 360 divided by 6, and that gives us 60. So therefore, the shape has 60 sides, because if each exterior angle is 6 degrees, there must be 60 exterior angles. If they're all equal, 360 divided by 6 equals 60, so the answer is 60 sides, and that's 3 marks, 2 for part A, 1 for part B. Question 3 says rearrange to make x the subject. Here we need to cross multiply. So we're going to multiply across. We're going to multiply d by px plus t, and we're going to multiply c by t minus x. So I'm going to use brackets to set that up, and then I'm going to expand the brackets. So c times by t is ct, c times by minus x is minus cx. On the other side of the equation, we've got d multiplied by px, which is dpx, and d multiplied by positive t is dt. Now, what I would do at this point is I would get all of my x's onto the same side, and I would remove anything that doesn't involve x from that side. So I'm going to add cx to both sides, and I'm going to minus dt from both sides. So the cx will go to the right-hand side, the dt will go to the left-hand side as follows. ct minus dx, ct minus dt, because we've minus dt from both sides, equals dpx plus cx, because we've added cx to both sides. Now, we've still got a problem, because on the right-hand side, we've got dpx plus cx. We've got x's there in each term, but we can factorize. So our next line of working out would be ct minus dt. We factorize the right-hand side, so we've just got 1x, x, open bracket, dp plus c, close bracket, and now we can divide both sides by dp plus c, so we have x on its own, and our solution is x equals ct minus dt over dp plus c. And that's the rearrangement to make x the subject. That is worth 3 marks. I haven't put the mark score on there, but that'll come on at the end. Now, question 4a, the first part of that is to find 500 to the power 0. 500 to the power 0 equals 1, because anything to the power 0 equals 1. Now, part 2 of part A, the first thing to note is we've got a negative power. We've got 16 over 25 to the minus a half. So the negative power always indicates 1 over. So we've got 1 over 16 over 25 to the power of a half. So the negative power indicates 1 over. Now, we now need to deal with 16 over 25 to the power of a half. Because the denominator is 2, we're going to do the square root of 16 over 25. You can notice there that both numbers 16 and 25 are square numbers, so they will square root easily. This is a non-calculator question, so they should. And we're going to do that to the power of 1, because the numerator is 1. If the numerator was 3, we would then have to do that to the power of 3, but the numerator is 1 here, so we just do it to the power of 1. So the square root of 16 over 25, the square root of 16 is 4, the square root of 25 is 5, so basically that is 4/5. So now, remembering that the negative power means 1 over, we have 1 over 4/5. Now basically that's 1 divided by 4/5. If you stay switch flip that, like we do when we're dividing by a fraction, you would get 1 times 5/4, and that's why the solution to this is indeed 5/4. If you have a denominator of a denominator, that denominator can be multiplied by the numerator. 5 times 1 is 5, so it's 5/4. Now I like to write my solutions as mixed numbers, so that's 1 whole and 1/4, and that would be my solution. Now finally, 4b, we need to find the magnitude of the vector -2 and 6. The magnitude is basically the length of it, and give your answer in third form. So when we've got to do this, we're basically imagining that's a right angled triangle that goes across -2 and up 6. Therefore we can use Pythagoras. Obviously a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The magnitude therefore simplifies to the square root of -2 squared plus 6 squared. That's going to be the square root. -2 squared is 4. Negative number squared is always positive. So -2 squared is 4. 6 squared is 36. So it simplifies to the square root of 40. Now because it asks for the answer in third form, we need to find the biggest square number that is a factor of 40. It's actually just 4. So therefore 40 simplifies to the square root of 4 times 10. The square root of 4 is 2, so it's 2 root 10. And I'm just putting the marks on there for question 3. That's 3 marks. And this question would be worth 5 marks. 4A1 would be 1 mark. 4A2 would be 2 marks. And part B would also be 2 marks. So looking at these 4 questions, if you got them all right in a IGCSE Paper 2 context, you would get 15 marks. So I hope this has been a useful tutorial. Please subscribe to the page if you haven't already. Hasta la pizza, arrivederci, so long, goodbye, ciao for now, we'll see you next time.